What's up? This is Copy Who, and I'm your host, Paul the producer. Joining you once again. Now, I peeled an orange today, and I don't have the nasty smell in my hands. It smells like orange juice. And that's the way it should smell. It shouldn't smell gnarly. And I like the smell of the orange juice, the citrus. I'm smelling the citrus. I'm not smelling something gross in the orange peel. Can you dig? I know you can. I just completely ignored you guys last time, so what's up? Welcome. It was like I had a lot to say, and you know, I'm the star of the show, but you guys are too that keep me creatively inspired, so don't you worry. I'll get to you. But for me, this show's about me. This is where my ego goes bananas. My ego here is an exaggeration of what it is in real life. Sometimes I'm very serious here. Sometimes you can discern that I'm being serious and telling the truth about things. And sometimes I'm just silly, willy-nilly, pilly, zilly, killy, dilly, really, quilly, whatever. I'm just trying to rhyme that sound with any other letter in front of it. For no point at all, just to demonstrate I can do whatever the heck I want here. I'm still looking at the birds. I'm talking to the birds here. Okay? You can sense that I'm talking to you. But the people don't necessarily know. Sometimes I'm looking right at your eyes because Copy has these eyes glaring right up at me. You see those eyes? Those big eyes looking right up at me. Haha, you're so sweet. You're mine. Copy and Jules. Copy and Jules. Inspired by... Only a small segment of people know what they're inspired by, and people are going to get it because of the similarities here and the name of the show and everything. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to fill myself a cup of water because I have just had lunch. I got this new roll of throat lozenges to warm my throat up before I do this. And this new flavor I got, which is like cherry mint, same brand, cherry mint, tastes like shit. And they have another one, and unless it's for like a whole case, so this was $3 for this roll of lozenges, and it's not too bad for something I just take one of every time I do one of these before I do this to warm my throat up. But then if you want the flavor raspberry, it's $12. Now, what I'm hoping is that $12 was referring to the whole case. But there are many more rolls in a whole case. So I don't know why they would sell the same amount of lozenges in the flavor raspberry and they would cost 4 times as much. I'm not a fan of that. Whoa. Okay, let's come back out of this. That was a producer's error right there. I should have known not to do that. But let me just correct it by... letting you hear this beautiful sound right here. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to get this out of the shot right here because perfection is the name of the game here. I put a lot of things aside for this show today. And some of them are tweets. Some of them are videos on Twitter. Some of them are videos on YouTube. And every time I finish a show, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do next? But all I do is I just watch TV in the evening, and one of the apps I watch the most is YouTube. Out of all of them, I spend my most time spent watching TV is on YouTube. And it's not because I do this. It just works out that way. And so consequently, I come across things that are suggested to me by the algorithm because it sees what I'm listening to and watching all the time. And it's like, oh yeah. Sometimes I watch it and then I'm like, I definitely want to stew on what they're talking about. And I want to come here and I want to make commentary on it. And the same thing happens when I'm on Twitter, when I'm on Instagram. When I spend time on those mediums, I wind up running into something where I'm like, I have an opinion about that. And so it's really easy just to put something to the side, bring it here, and then boo, boo, boo. And sometimes in my notes, I will actually put little bullet points or something about what's going on in my mind when I'm seeing it. And that helps me know what I want to say. But I don't always say that. Sometimes I just see it and I have an automatic reaction, like in my brain. It just comes automatically when I hear someone say a certain thing. And so, yeah, I know. Should I just get underway here? What? Oh, I had freaking 2 nights in a row that were a great night of sleep. Last night I went to bed very shortly after 10. I might have been out by 10:20, and I slept all the way to 6:30, which is freaking amazing. What's the difference the last couple days? Okay, so we were out. I was at my cousin's house on Saturday night, and another cousin of mine has a girlfriend, and she suggested that taking electrolytes helps people sleep at night. And I don't know the reason why. So I was like, okay, I have some of those around here and I'll take some before bed. So I've been taking a spoonful of these electrolytes that you're supposed to take before a workout, but instead I've been taking them before bed. And by golly, the last 2 nights I've gotten great hours of sleep. And I can tell after 2 days that my mind is like way more in good shape. My focus is on, the way I'm articulating is on, my energy is up, my mood is improved. Mood is key. Okay, so I don't know if it's just a placebo effect or whatever, but it's making me feel like it's rejuvenating. It's extremely rejuvenating getting good nights of sleep. So I'm gonna go for 3 nights in a row tonight with good sleep. Part of the discipline is not eating a bunch of crap, too many carbs, too much sugar, all this crap. I try to actually do a little bit of fasting. I don't eat a lot of snacks. Sometimes, occasionally lately, I'm having oysters, smoked oysters in the afternoon. Why do you think I have them? Well, some people might say they're good for the libido, right? I can't testify that, I have that it's an aphrodisiac or that it makes me more amorous as a man, but they taste delicious. And I don't just eat them plain, okay? So they're smoked oysters, sealed in olive oil, and I put them on one on a Ritz cracker with some ranch dressing, and it's like, oh yeah, that's good. I like that. They taste pretty good. That's the formula. I recommend that. A Ritz cracker, a smoked oyster that was sealed in olive oil, and you put ranch dressing in it, and mwah. And I learned that from someone I knew ever since elementary school, and he was a roommate in college for a while who was kind of a big asshole, an immature asshole that might have grown up eventually, which is cool, good for him. But he taught me to eat smoked oysters, and I was like, I like this, and that habit stuck all the way until now. It's been over 30 years. That's kind of fascinating to me. 30 years I have this habit of eating smoked oysters, and I like them. Thank you, Lord, for the smoked oysters. A good snack. I'm also getting some beef jerky stuff for snacks too, but I rarely eat snacks. I try to fast between my evening dinner and all the way in the morning, all the way up to where I take where I have a shake after working out. And if I don't work out, I just have a bowl of cereal with some protein powder on top of it. I'm just telling you my whole life. Things you don't give a shit about. Because as I do all of this, people who find me interesting stick around. And people who don't like what I'm saying, they skedaddle, and that's appropriate for me. Okay. Yes. Let's just take another drink here. Wonderful water. I refilled a refill gallon of water today with this wonderful water from Natural Grocers. I do love it so. Yes. The Sausage King of Chicago? No, I am not. What movie's that from? Huh? Last night I had a dream that they rebooted the TV show Friends. And it was all these old ladies on there, all the ones you know, Courtney Cox, Jennifer Aniston, and the lady who plays Phoebe. What the hell is her name in real life? I don't know. But the problem with the show in my dream was, and I said this in my dream, this was my critique, was that there were no guys. There was no Chandler. There was no Joey. There was no, who's the third one? Oh, yeah, Ross. Except I did see Ross in my dream because Ross, who reminds me of my cousin Mark, they were sitting at a table in a cafe with one another, and I was lying down by the table trying to sleep. What's up with that dream? I don't know. But that's the dream I had, and it was entertaining. And part of my prayer every night before I go to bed is to have entertaining dreams, life-affirming dreams, inspiring dreams, dreams that spark the desire to take action in my life in positive ways, creative ways. And to sleep well. And so that's actually part of what I go to sleep with every night is a routine to pray for good sleep. And I don't know if it works, but I just think certain rituals I think are good to get a good result with things where you want a consistency in your life. If you want consistency, try certain harmless rituals, and praying is one of them for me. Okay? So yeah, and to pray specifically for good sleep. Oh yeah, this is the screen I love, and today I'm thinking it's soon time to go and get... Oh, yes, to go and get the motorized stand so it'll rise the TV up to music. And go get a slightly bigger TV. This one's 55 inches, and I think I'll go up to 60. And if I go to 65, I think it'll be too big for this environment. But yes, that's what I want to do. The fucking motorized stand on this, it's so unnecessary, but it's like, want to be flashy, and I want to copy. We know what that means. So that motorized stand is $500. And when it goes up, when I have it all set up and the TV's like, I'm going to play music to it, and it's just going to be like, whoa, this guy really goes the extra mile to do almost nothing. It's just a very expensive visual effect. But then so is this TV down here. So are these TVs up here. So are these lights. These lights over here, the little square checkerboard thing, that was too expensive. And so what I want to do here, I want to come and open up my first link. Rian says something crazy. Rian Stone, the manosphere dude, says something crazy. Let me just let me go like this. And so what I'm going to do is, yeah, you're seeing that come over there, but instead of you trying to squint your eyes and see it up on that big TV right there, I'm going to go like this. Okay, so what Rian said was, I don't even remember why I put this in here, but let's see. You're allowed to hate women, but only if they are trailer trash white women. You're allowed to hate fat women, but only if they are trailer trash fat white women. I don't make the rules, he says, okay? But what I thought about this was, is there something built into you or Twitter's algorithm here that would say, hey, you're not supposed to say words like that? Is there something built into the algorithm that will bring down the number of views that he has? And the reason I'm curious about this is just how much do they evaluate and weight every single solitary thing you say by a preconceived score? Like, I don't have a problem with this, but I myself sit and think, if I refer to a woman as a fat woman, or if I'm being mean and I'm calling someone fat on here, I think every single word I speak on YouTube goes through an algorithm, and they give me somewhat of their own social credit score. And they're like, oh, this guy cannot be let out of the box. Okay. So if I want to grow here, it has to be organically, because the algorithm is not going to allow me to do it. Like, if I were the biggest kiss-ass woke dipshit, I'd probably have 50,000 followers the last month. New followers or subscribers or whatever. And so I was just thinking about that Rian here, he's saying something that is not going to play favorably with a lot of people. That certainly is not the kind of statement that would offend me. But frankly, dude, with the type of insight you have and the sense of humor I've become accustomed to hearing and seeing from you, you can do better than that, Rian. I call you to action to be better than that, okay? And I'm not saying because that's offensive. I'm saying because it's not creative enough. You're more creative than that, okay? I'm not just kissing your butt. I'm just telling you the truth. If I didn't like something you said, I would just go ahead and say, I don't like what you're saying, Rian. That's not cool at all. Duh. I know, I'm getting like loopy. I'm having fun being me, okay? Let me just scroll through. Hey, ladies, socially awkward men, yes. 21%, no. 20%, not autism. It's whammon. Whammon? What the hell? What does that mean? I don't get it, dude. You can do better. Help me understand what you're saying. Socially awkward men. Am I socially awkward? Does anyone think so? Based upon saying this, is it your hypothesis that in a real world social situation, or if I had someone here, would I be socially awkward? I can guarantee you that if I had someone I wanted to have a cerebral conversation with here in this room, I would tone down my act. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to behave in a silly fashion somehow, because that's just what I want to do. It's where I am. It's what I'm doing. So here we go. So Ryan asks the same question on his Twitter page. Hey guys, fat ladies? 77.1% said no. And I would have guessed that it would have been the vast majority. I do know someone I don't want to name on here who does like fat chicks. And so God bless those guys, because I'm sure that they can make some heavyset ladies happy, and they deserve love too. And I'm not valuing them any less on a moral level in the eyes of God than anyone else because they're heavyset. And it's all kinds of different reasons. You know, take care of yourself. Do your very best to be your best physically and mentally healthy self, including spiritually healthy self. Okay, I'm not joking. So hey guys, fat ladies, yes, 13% said yes, and then like, I'm not fat, I'm big boned is the other answer, 9.9%. Is that a lady answering that? Or is that the ladies answering that? Okay. I want to know what's up with Scott Adams getting canceled lately, so I'm going to have to look that up, but I'm not going to comment on it right now. I just do like Rian Stone's Twitter page. I like the things he says. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're saying, dude. And I'm a highly articulate, learned person, and I'm like, what are you saying? I like to pride myself on thinking that when I make a tweet, it's very clear what I'm saying. And so is it when I'm being sarcastic. Every unhappy wife is like a rape victim. Oh, man, dude. Oh, that is a funny thing to say, though. And you have balls saying that because, like, I'm so self-conscious I would not tweet that out. But let me just like that, okay? Oh, yeah, okay. Let me just like that for you, because I appreciate the humor in that, okay? I believe you are being humorous, but there's some truth to the fact that every unhappy wife is overly blaming her husband for all kinds of things, probably. I do wonder, and so this dude tweets out a lot. Ryan tweets out a shit ton. I do wonder, have any economists done the math on whether exempting any family from income tax if they have 3+ kids? I think that's a cool idea. Give me 3 kids. Tax revenue is versus productive tax paying adults in 20 years kind of mad. Yes. In other words, you raise kids to be productive members of society, and you get these kids doing stuff that is producing income, okay? And then before they have kids, they are themselves paying income tax. And when they have 3 kids, they don't have to pay income tax anymore because they have 3 kids. That is a pretty interesting idea, to be perfectly honest with you. I like that, Ryan. I like where you're coming from on that. Let me just close out of this, and we will open up my very next clip right here. What is it? Okay, Blaire White looking insecure as hell. Okay, so this is another Twitter thing from a lady named Blaire White, and I know that I had a comment. Oh, yeah, okay. So it's hot, and I had thoughts about this that I'm not exactly remembering. So she tweets out, and you see obviously her beautiful body and with a gun. If you see a bulge in a conservative woman's pants, it's a gun. If you see a bulge in a liberal woman's pants, it's a penis. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, so that got 7.6 million views. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that she shows her entire beautiful body. But let me come over here and actually, because I'm thinking she did some stuff to her face, whether Botox or puffing up the lips. If not, it might be her makeup. I just kind of get this feeling that when you're putting out a tweet like that, I can't help but feel there's some self-absorption, and I wouldn't be with you, regardless of whether you're saying you're conservative or not. I wouldn't be with you because that's not the kind of woman I want to be with, is someone who is basically putting herself out online like that. But so you want attention. 7.6 million views. That's a lot of views for this. 34,000.3 likes. Any comments on here? Let's see what people say. You're not a woman. Richard Cooper. Okay, I think I follow him. Let me see. Yes, I am following him. Another manosphere dude. You're not a woman. And I'm not. I think she is a woman, right? I don't think she's trans or anything. Yes, she is a woman, and you're a TERF. I gotta look up what TERF means really quick, okay? TERF meaning, because I hear people using that term all the time, and I haven't quite. A person whose views on gender identity are considered hostile to transgender people. Oh, okay, I guess I should have known that. Or who opposes social and political policies designed to be inclusive of transgendered people. Okay. No wonder this society is so divided, honestly. Okay, so TERF basically means you don't like trans people. It's a disparaging term to use against people who don't like trans people. Isn't there a disparaging term to use against people who are like anti-Christian? Or anti-Judeo-Christian, or values bestowed from the Bible, the Abrahamic Bible? Is that a thing, Abrahamic Bible, the way I said that? I don't know. I'm just saying like the God of Abraham is what I mean. What are these? Okay. People are pissed because I had a tweet here, and here, let's see if I can find it here. So I have this clip I'm going to play momentarily from this chick, and Ryan made a comment on this. Rian Stone did. When I forget that most men have never dated a bimbo, this is one aspect of dating. Let her talk and start calculating whether her sexual performance is worth your brain melting during drinks. The game hasn't changed. You're just getting exposed to the real G life. Okay, so let me come over here and I'll play that clip for you right now. And that is... where is it? Whatever, featuring brains and good English. All right. This is funny to me. Okay, hold on. Be patient, my loves.
Fucking talking stages, like that.
No, listen carefully.
I think like the biggest thing that like annoys me in like the whole dating world is like fucking talking stages. Like that shit's so annoying. Like the whole like and just like the inconsistency in them. Like I literally hate that like so much. But I think that's like my biggest thing. It's just like
what specifically?
Just like the fact of just like I don't know how to word this. Like in like talking stages.
Like in just, like okay, but you definitely use the word like. Sort of like someone like me just said but I don't say nearly as much as you say like in between every word. You talk like you like don't have like any other like way to like express like yourself because like you just like don't have confidence or like a large vocabulary, and like so while your like slow like brain thinks, you like have to like fill in the blanks of what you are saying like with the word like
you're like labeled that, and it's like people like
no I'll tell you what. So people are coming to me tweeting about what she's really saying, the message she's trying to put forth, because I know she's trying to put forth a message, but I'm so distracted by how many times she says like that I am exhausted and distracted. I can't hear what you're saying because it's like. Okay, I'm going to start this over, and we're going to count how many times you say like, okay?
I think like the biggest
One,
thing that like annoys me in like the
two,
whole dating world is like
three,
fucking talking
four,
stages. Like that shit's so
five,
annoying. Like the whole,
6,
like,
7,
and just like the inconsistency
8,
in them. Like I literally like hate
9,
that, like, so
10,
much. But
11,
I think that's like my biggest thing.
12,
like,
what specifically?
13,
just like the fact
14,
of just like
15,
like, I don't know how to word this. Like in like
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21,
you can't like
22,
like confused, and
23,
like,
24,
time,
25,
like, gets like attached or something,
26,
and they like see it like
27,
to a relationship, and it's always not
28,
and it's just
29,
like, that's like my biggest
30,
thing. Like,
31,
the whole like how like talking
32,
stages are so,
33,
like,
34,
traditional dating
35
does not exist in this generation. I think like the biggest
35.
Thing that, like,
Give or take one. I might have missed one. 35 times in 40 seconds? Are you crazy? You're averaging like almost one like a second. That's the American educational system there. That's life in Southern California. Okay, now we're going to listen to the fucking substance of what you're saying so that I can respond intelligently to these people who are like able to overlook the fact that you say 35 times like in 45 seconds. Jesus. Excuse me, Jesus. Forgive me, Jesus. But holy mackerel.
I think like the biggest thing that like annoys me in like the whole dating world is like fucking talking stages. Like that shit's so annoying.
Okay, so in between saying like 35 times, she says shit and fucking, but let's see how many times she says those. So there's a lot of filler in here to get the idea conveyed. I bet you she could have said it in 10 to 15 seconds, but if she didn't say like 35 times and swear words, let's just keep going. See if my hypothesis is correct, sir.
The whole like, and just like the inconsistency in them, like I literally like hate that like so much. But I think that's like my biggest thing.
I'm already fucking lost. I'm lost
like,
because okay, I go back to the beginning.
Like, the whole dating world is like fucking talking stages.
Okay,
like, that shit's so annoying.
Okay,
like, the whole like, and just like the inconsistency in them, like I literally like hate that like so much. But I think that's like my biggest thing. It's just like
what specifically?
Just like the fact of just like you like.
Hold up. Look, she's tempting me with lust and that cross right there. Okay, so that's like the sin of pride. You know why? Because this is lust right here. These amazing bazonkas. And then she's got this here, which is some kind of, I think that's sinful because it's demonstrating pride. That bugs me. So yeah, I'm being judgmental.
I don't know how to word this.
No
like,
shit. Hold on. She doesn't know how to word it. Now, what is it from what she said so far between like and shit and fucking these words a million times? Can you believe that she doesn't have the words to articulate what she wants to say? Just fill it in with like, honey bunch.
It's just like you're like labeled that, and it's like people like are considered like you can't like you're just like confused, and like most of the time like the girl gets like attached or something, and they like see it like it's gonna lead to a relationship, and it's always not, and it's just like. That's like my biggest thing is like I just hate the whole like how like talking stages are so like normalized. Like traditional dating does not exist in this generation. I think like the big
traditional dating, so she makes some cogent points as she butchers the fuck out of the English language. I can't be sorry because like you really do. And me, as someone who fancies myself as someone who likes to be an artisan with the English language, a master of the English language, in comprehension and expression, do you see how I just said all of that and I did not utter the word like in between that once? But I could say, I'm like sort of like an expert at like the English language, and I like sort of have the ability to like articulate like amazing, deep, comprehensive thoughts, like with my amazing broad intellect and vocabulary as I like talk. You see how I augmented my brilliance with your silly likeness to hopefully generate some kind of humor? This particular clip is certainly making the rounds, and what just for posterity. And so hold on.
Always mean like the whole dating world is like
okay, wait, hold on.
Annoying,
one more time.
Like,
come on, I need a pause in between the words.
Like,
damn it! Like, hold on. I'm going to go here and I'm just going to, can I scroll this? Will that work so that I can get, okay, so what I'm looking for here is there we go. Bingo. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. I am a sinner. I get it. I'm lustful. I can't help it. You're causing me to sin. It's your fault. Yeah, I'm not taking responsibility for this sin. You caused this sin in me. But I am. I can't help my reaction. I'm just human. I'm a man. She is beautiful. And I want to go back to what Ryan said about this one here, okay? Like, okay, when I forget that most men have never dated a bimbo. Let's come over here. This one aspect of dating This is one aspect of dating. Let her talk and start calculating whether her sexual performance is worth your brain melting during drinks. The game hasn't changed. You're just getting exposed to the real G life. Okay, so this is what I mean. Like the other day when I was talking about Michael Sartain, if this were if I had a bevy of women this beautiful around me, sexually that would be amazing, but I would be worn out trying to not lose my mind, like my mind melting, to use the vernacular Rian Stone talked about here. My mind would melt trying to live with being around women who talk like this all the time. I need some intellectual and stimulation along with sexual titillation, okay? I don't want to be around women who talk like this, and maybe she'll grow out of it eventually, but that's fucking Southern California. You got a fucking degree from Valley Girl, USA. Give me a freaking break. So annoying. So I responded to Ryan saying, this clip is sure making the rounds. Imagine, here we go, I'll come back here while I read this to you. Imagine going viral for something like this. And so Ryan responded to me by saying, to be honest, I never actually watched it. I took a screenshot and immediately knew what it was. And you were right. And I spent way more time on it than it probably deserves. And so some lady responded, she's actually talking about how she doesn't like modern dating and hookup culture. She words it very poorly, but that's what she's saying. I get it. It's not that I don't comprehend what the hell she's saying, but I am grossly distracted by her boobs, the cross, and using the word like 35 times. But she makes valid points. When I finally was able to filter out the like after watching it 3 or 4 times, she was making cogent points. I give her that. And then so Jeffrey P. Murphy, who would like to date her, perhaps he's defending her. Let's see what he says. She was specifically complaining about talking stages that don't result in a date. And isn't that the ironic part right there, that she's talking about the talking stages, and you immediately in that talking stage realize that she says like between every single like word, that she says way too much? And with a long enough talking stage, one day, I would rule out a first date with this one too. Yeah, I concur with Jeffrey P. Murphy as well. Too much. Yeah, okay. I'm moving on. Moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up. All right, what's my next clip here, people? I have a new clip. Okay, so here's a racist girl on whatever, and I want to hear what she has to say to young. I'm scared to refer to anyone who's black these days as anything, because someone somewhere is going to be offended by anything you say. So let me just pull this up for you over here. Love it. Love it. I will start it up for you. So we're starting over here with this.
Would you date a police officer?
No, the pigs. Because
that's okay to say that. I've said similar things. Listen, though, I do think there are some good police. I think some of them are badge heavy. But I do think there are some police who are heroic and they will put their life on the line for you. And I do think there are some bad ones too. And I'm just saying, if you're in a situation with police, try to be very mindful and assess the situation. Let your pride go out the window. Take it as a game, as a challenge to get through a situation unscathed, because your likelihood of getting hurt by a policeman is elevated when you are arrogant, loud, or crass. So use tact to get through the situation. That's advice I'm giving to everyone, okay? And even if the cop's an asshole, you want to try and behave tactfully, because you're always in more danger with a cop, in my opinion, okay? No matter who you are, if you're a jerk, it's not going to work out well. But I have done exactly what you've done before. Don't misunderstand me. But let me hear more rude stuff that she says. Okay.
The institution they support is inherently racist and profiles black and brown Americans especially, throws them into jail, which is a continuation of the slave trade, essentially. People are working in prisons for less than minimum wage.
Okay, that part of what she says I agree with, that people, I have personally recognized, just from my own observation, that the prison system is a contemporary modern day slave system. No doubt about that. But I don't agree that the society is just founded on this racist foundation. That's the Marxist shit you're spewing that I certainly do not agree with.
making pennies and dimes, and it's unfair, and that's what you contribute
I agree
to
with
if
this
you're a
portion of
cop.
what you're saying.
My question to you is, I disagree with you on...
Yeah, I bet you do, white boy.
Oh,
That's a bit...
not cool. Not cool. Imagine if he referred to her so casually like that. He would be canceled up the ass. Like, and so why doesn't anyone put you in your place for being rude? That's just rude. Like, I'm not going to talk to you that disrespectfully just because you're a human being, okay? In fact, you're physically a beautiful human being, but your attitude is in need of some kind of like enlightenment or adjustment, because nice people are nice people, and you put yourself above them like that, and immediately you are the one who's racist. So let's see how Ryan the Weak puts her in her place, or if he does.
White boy.
Lame.
That's a bit racist.
Weak. Yes.
Oh my God, no, you're one of those.
Oh my God.
And I'm
You're
also
not bowing down to me. You're not bowing down to me. I'm a victim. I'm part of a marginalized group. Don't you know that when I'm racist to you, no such thing like that even exists, even though there's the paradox of me just saying that's what I'm doing and it's not really happening? Respect the paradox. Respect the paradox. Kiss my fucking feet, why don't you? Come on, lady. The hell? Keep on her, Ryan. Right now I'm going to fucking judge you, Ryan, for how you handle this moment. You're one of those. Oh my God, you're one of those. You think it's racist when I just condescendingly refer to you as a white boy, even though I know that you can't do that to me because you'd be canceled. And I wouldn't do that to you because it's like I care about respecting people, but once I'm disrespected, I start getting a little bent out of shape. And that's what you're doing to me right now.
You don't think you can be racist towards someone who's white?
No, I don't, because you've never experienced racism in history.
Fucking idiot.
White people haven't experienced racism.
Moron.
What's your definition of racism?
I'd say basically like the persecution in any type of way that leads to the downfall of just like someone's life. Like,
would you date a police officer?
It makes no fucking sense what she just said. Just the persecution that leads to the downfall of someone's life. No, racism is treating someone differently merely because they have a different skin color. And that's what you just did to him when you said white boy. Like, and your racism of him didn't lead to the downfall of his life. I mean, like, you have some Marxist programming within you. And that was the first time I saw this. And so I'm like, oh my God. It's really, really an agitating person right there. I hope someday she comes to be genuinely more equitable with others as far as treating other people who have not done anything racist toward her with kindness, because as the pastor says, we're all part of the same race, the human race. So check yourself. Damn it. Anyway, she does irritate me, because it's like, you can sit there and say white boy to me. Like, what the fuck? I don't fucking, but I did call you an idiot. I'm calling you an idiot. And, you know, maybe that's not the best way to bridge the gap, but it is fucking stupid. You're one of those? You call it racist when I condescendingly refer to you as a white boy? Yeah. It's pretty fucking irritating, I must say. Okay, so I'm moving through these at a interesting pace. Let me see how much time I have on the clock here. I'm at 38 minutes. This is going to be a tight squeeze today. Okay, okay, so yeah, I've went through all that. Here's a clip from Myron, who's doing an interview. Myron from Fresh and Fit, who I like a lot. And I will come over here and zoom it in like this. I am getting really good at this mix here, doing things the way I want to do them.
You mentioned in the book, you say you must strike a balance that allows you to achieve your old contract desires while successfully navigate new contract realities.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So in the book, I talk about the old contract and the new contract. And in the old contract, it used to be, right, and this is the way the world has always worked, is men trade resources for sex, right, or sexual access, right? And then women, right, go ahead and give children if they want, right? Mm-hmm. But nowadays...
That's tied to what Rollo says about women loving opportunistically. And so men want the sex, men have the resources, and women trade resources for sex, and therefore women are loving or hooking up opportunistically. Troubling. I'm sure there have got to be some women who really do love idealistically. I can't accept that there aren't.
It's the new contract is, I don't need no man. I'm strong and independent. You know, all this feminist propaganda BS. But the thing is that
Thank you.
What women do is they kind of negotiate in bad faith. So they take parts of the old contract that benefit them while simultaneously getting rid of the duties that came with that contract. And guys are stupid enough to not understand this. So in other words, women expect you to be a traditional man and chivalrous at all times, while they can pick and choose when they want to be a lady. And that's not a good trade.
That's right. I've heard Rollo say the same thing too. That they want to be a traditional old world women simultaneous with paradoxically embracing new world values like I'm a good woman as I twerk on this bar top being super provocative in front of a bunch of people. Like, virtue can't be two opposite things at once. So that's just a recipe for hypocrisy. And there's some delusion there.
I'm going to be held to a standard. I'm supposed to protect and provide for you and be this dominant leader. Well, I'm supposed to get some kind of authority with that because I'm responsible. But what women want is for you to have all the responsibility with zero authority.
Right.
And Rollo Tomassi says it in the book, and I quote him as well, shout out to him, that authority without responsibility, responsibility without authority is slavery. And
Thank you for saying that. Honestly, because that is a line that stood out from Rollo's book when I read it as well, and I absolutely think it's true. I confer with what you're saying. I agree with it entirely.
A lot of guys are, where they're taking care of a girl. They might be simping. I'm sure you see it here in Dubai, where you got guys that have money that take care of these women, but they treat them like crap and they don't appreciate it. Now, is that all the time? No, of course. But you know, I tell guys all the time, like, having money and status isn't enough. You need to have other things in play too. You have to have your frame on point. You have to have game. You have to understand how women operate psychologically. You need to be the full package. I never tell guys, oh yeah, just make money and you're going to get all the girls. No, you're going to become a rich simp and they're going to use you for that.
Right.
So, but at the same time, I don't want you to be a brokey that's attractive, that's in the gym and can't, maintain a girl long term if you want a serious relationship. So,
I have a lot of thoughts thinking about this at this given moment, and it's basically about how so if you're a man who wants to hook up, you should have something to offer that woman, right? And not necessarily just in the way of resources, but you want to be good company. She wants more than good company, but you should be good company. So it's like, how do you bridge this gap between the resources that women are after, loving opportunistically, and then getting them to love you idealistically too, where they're like really loving you and they're loyal to you and they get something out of it because there is truly like an emotional, spiritual bond. It should be a spiritual bond. Marriage should be a covenant between people. And frankly, the fucking state needs to be dialed down and out of the covenant that should be exclusively spiritual, because the state incentivizes divorce, and I think that's the whole deliberate goal, is to ruin connections between people, because you incentivize women to bail out of something that, like, of course marriage over a lifetime is going to be difficult, so they incentivize it where guys wind up being the indentured slaves, and it's just a whole fucking fucktard of a situation, the institution of marriage, because of what the state does to it. And I'm not proposing that a woman should be enslaved in a marriage, and I'm irritated when women say it's just slavery. I'm sure there are situations women are in with men where those men are controlling and they are unjust and overbearing, but that's not even what I'm talking about. Women just some of them are taking marriage default slavery. They're considering it to be by default slavery, and that's just not the case. It does such a disservice to trying to have this institution to make it work. They've really fucked it up, and they've fucked it up on purpose, because frankly, strong families and strong bonds between men and women who build big and strong families, who have a strong sense of values spiritually, who are invested in the tribalism of their family, that's what makes for a strong society with values that thrives and prospers. It's not fucking breaking families up. It's not weakening values through the secular values of the state. The state's values are like anti-values that masquerade as having values. Bugs me a lot. It does. Yes. I have another clip from Myron. I don't think I'm going to watch this whole one because I'm going to squeeze it down a little bit.
Speaking of simps, you mentioned
simps. Yeah, this is kind of one. That's one of the questions I had about this was, I don't want to be a simp, like, but I am a pushover sometimes with women, and I'm like, is that all it means to be a simp? Like, how and where do you draw the line? Where is the line where it's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely a simp because I did A, B, and C. I'm with a woman who walks all over me, even though I provide for her. You shouldn't be with a woman. Is that being a simp? A woman who walks all over you. She's with you because you know you value her for her sex, but what does she offer besides the sex? If you're a woman with a woman, like, exclusively because she's hot and because, I don't know, like, what is a trophy wife if it's not someone where you feel good about the person? Just something to look at. That's the definition of trophy wife. Like, trophy wife is a woman who looks good standing next to me, but a trophy wife should be more than that. Like a woman who has character that is admirable. Oh, am I wrong? Like, I'm getting some idea. I think I'm talking about things that accurately describe the state of being a simp. I don't want to be a simp, but I have been a simp. I have most definitely been a simp. And it wasn't pretty. For a lot of years I have been, but I'm more recalcitrant to the ladies, but I don't like using the word recalcitrant because something in the definition of recalcitrant acknowledges some kind of authority that the woman has over me, when that is not what I'm saying she has. It's like she should have a degree of latitude and say in a relationship. But I don't want to be the slave anymore, even though I was when I was younger. And I don't want to be pushed over, and I never will be exclusively from looks again. It just won't happen. And I'm going to vet the shit out of that woman, and I'm going to get the opinion of family members. And by the way, I'm still on Hinge. Hinge sucks fucking ass. Hinge, the dating app, is what I'm referring to. It sucks complete ass. Can't stand it.
that there's an army of simps in today's society.
Yeah.
How the hell do we fix that problem? Because
Army,
I think this is why women's
society is geared toward raising men up now to be total wimp simps. And that's why all these fucking guys in the manosphere, especially like Rollo and Myron, not as much Brian the Weak from Southern California, but like they're doing such a service to men in society, even including Andrew Tate. Oh, that reminds me, like I'm engaged in some back and forth with people. I commented on a post from Dennis from Deaf Noodles about Andrew Tate and why I think he's in prison. And all these people, you can tell for whatever reason, the people watching Dennis from Deaf Noodles have a liberal slant. And so if you say anything to defend Tate, or if even you talk about how someone needs to have due process, they're just like, he's a bad guy, so he deserves what happened to him. But it's like, no, but Andrew Tate or anyone, including you ding-dong liberals, we all need to have due process. And a failure of due process is a failure of democracy, okay? So that's what's happening to Andrew Tate on display right now. Regardless, like, I hope he's not guilty of the things they say he's guilty of. It's my sense that he's not necessarily, but fuck, I don't know. I'll just go back to this right now.
Inflated egos and so much choice. They just get flattered every single day by all these offers which they're getting. And the majority of these people are men who are just simping.
Yeah, dude.
So what I've noticed...
Dude works out. Look at that arm. Ooh, beast. That arm's freaking huge. This is not a man I want to wrestle with. I can't win in a wrestling match with this man.
Is like, if you try and tell a simp to stop being a simp, he's not going to listen because they're not thinking properly. Mm-hmm. Like even back in the day,
you can't just say stop being something that's embedded in someone's mind. They have to want to change, like a drug addict has to want to change. They have to sometimes have a cathartic, horrible experience to have the emotional wherewithal to want to change.
When I was in my early 20s, like I'm not gonna lie.
And how does it serve any man being a simp? It's like, is a simp considered like a white knight? A man who comes along, he's like, I'm virtuous and I have this dumbass idea of what chivalry is. And you're a misogynist. Hey, do you like my beta-ness, lady? Will you give me sex? Meanwhile, no, they're wired to want to screw the alpha, and I'm not picking on you, dude. I'm not sure that I'm the alpha, although I have wanted, women have wanted me before, so maybe I have demonstrated at points in my life some degree of alpha-ness. Thank goodness, thank God, otherwise I would have no fun experiences in life.
Like I had some.
We all simp, bro.
We've all been there, bro.
I've simped before. We all have. Like, I think.
Oh,
and I
God.
think that's why it's so important.
I'm so glad he said that. I didn't watch this full clip here, but it's really cool to hear Myron say that he's simped before. And it's like, I guess you have to simp to get stronger, is what I take from that. Is every guy on some level in the process of learning and growing in life, especially early on before they really became focused on these strategies and issues. We've all been
simps there to know what it feels like, so you can be able to properly dispense advice to someone that is there. But the problem is this: let's be honest here. We know men are hard-hearted.
I appreciate
they
that.
Got to take
that demonstrates some humility from Myron. It also demonstrates more depth of thought, which I appreciate from him.
the L for them to finally come to realization, like, what was I doing? You know, because every guy has this kind of ego thing where they think, no, my methodology of getting girls is the best, whether they're paying for escorts, they're tricking on OnlyFans, or whatever it is. They think
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I understand all this game back and forth. I just don't put shit in practice because it's like, it's work. I just keep hoping the love of my life falls into my lap. And that, oh shit. That's so, is that simping? Somehow she's just going to fall into my lap. Hello. Okay. And she'll be sober and she'll be Christian and she'll just fall there. Like, oops, I tripped in the mall and I fell in your lap. And my cell phone went tumbling over that edge and it's gone. It's broken over there. And you have all my attention, sir. Cell phone's gone. I fell in your lap. What will you do with me, beautiful Paul? Oh, I don't know. I just, that's never happened to me before. I think I better stop hoping that the unlikely thing happens and get out there and take the actions necessary to find a woman. And by the way, did I say how badly Hinge sucks? My ass, they try to hook you up. If they were trying to hook you up, Hinge would give you like multiple different audio clips you would be able to post up there. 1 minute long, 2 minutes long, for whoever wants to do them that long, and long videos so that you can get. So I put up an audio clip today when I was driving downtown. I said, come look at this channel and you'll get an idea for me. And I'm doing entertainment here. And that's just like, I'm not like this when I meet people. There's a much more subdued Paul, but I am doing some entertainment stuff here, okay? Excuse me. I love imagining when I'm doing the radio, and I always imagine I'm saying these things, and then in between I take a breath and I burp. And that's honestly true. So, yeah, I burp here. That doesn't mean like if I had a girlfriend or if I had a wife, I would just be like, bleh, and burp in her face. Do you know what I mean? But right here on this microphone, that's what I'm doing. Back to the clip.
Best way to do it, because they're so ego invested and they spent their time, their money, their resources, whatever it may be, into pursuing women in that avenue. It's not until they take a massive L and they get some serious heartbreak that they come to this side of the internet and realize, wow, everything I've been told is a lie. Because we tell men all the time to prop women up, pedestalize them. That's how you get them, be a nice guy. And those days are done. They used to work maybe 50, 60 years ago, right? When being a gentleman would work. But nowadays you have to pick and choose which girls to be a gentleman with. But like simping?
Yeah.
Bro, I love a good neg. At times in the past, I know I've had such solid negs. I wish I could think of examples right now, but sometimes it's just like bang, zoom, and you neg that chick. You create that perception of higher value for you, and feels good. And you're winning with her when you neg her if she laughs. If she's just offended and she glares at you, that was probably a bad neg. You got to have some sense for the humor you're putting out there for a woman. This I know, even though I don't put it into practice very much. I know that I do on occasion. But I need to, when I see women, it would be helpful, like day game, night game, whatever, if you didn't have your face in your phone all the time. That's a pet peeve for me. My sister's like, you're on your phone too much. But there are all kinds of situations where I'm not on my phone deliberately. And that includes like when I'm walking through the mall, 99% of the time my phone's in my pocket and I am looking at people looking at their phones. Okay? So, yeah. Oh, Lordy. Keep on spit some wisdom, Myron.
It's only going to get worse, I think.
Because usually, right, what happens is...
I actually, this dude on the left here, I wish I knew his name because I've watched Fresh and Fit a lot. I know I should know it. I actually really love that sweatshirt he's wearing. That logo on it is cool.
A guy will find a girl, as hot to him, attractive, and he'll put all his effort behind her. Pick her up, put her on a pedestal, give his all to her, right? She may like that at the beginning, but she gets bored, they get married, have kids, whatever. She's like, you know what? This guy is boring. I'm tired of him. I'm going to leave. Then she divorces him, takes half his stuff, moves on. But the guy is left for nothing now, and half his money, if at all. He's like, damn, what do I do? And he's like, you know what? I need answers. Goes online, go to YouTube, find our content, roll up Tomasi, and then, damn, here's where I messed up. But most guys are like, you know what? Until that point, they don't ever look for answers. So that's the thing that happens all the time.
Good God Almighty. If exactly 20 years ago today, if I had been able to read Rollo's book that spring before the following July, it would have changed my whole life. If I had read that and taken that to heart, I would have approached the whole matter of hooking up differently at an integral time in my life.
As far as like simping, dude, I honestly predict that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah. Like, it's great because this type of content, right? Like, Andrew's done a fantastic job.
I don't know that it's going to get worse. I think that what's happening now is there's this large surge of people talking about this content. So it's going to provide an education for men and people about these topics, about these issues. And it's going to liberate men from the old chains of that fem-centric society, gynocentric society.
Of like letting guys understand that, you do have value as a man, you just need to work and earn it. Yeah. And then women will respect you for it. But it's still a minority. Like, most guys are simps. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of guys
I'm afraid that I am.
A sexless relationship, sexless marriage.
I'm aware of it. I'm not as nearly as much as I used to be. My dad used to tell me when I was younger, you need a woman who's in deference to you, which means my dad he does not seem like a simp to me. I think my dad's soft spot in his heart is for his children. Like, when I come to him with a want, it's like, that's where he's like, okay, Paul wants to do this. And he does that for me. That's one of the amazing things about my dad is he told me a long time ago, in October, the fall of 1998, my dad told me when I was an adult and we went back to Italy together for the first time, the two of us, just the two of us, he said, I will help you do anything within reason. And by golly, he's lived up to that. And I've tried not to make a lot of extremely unreasonable asks of him. So I forgot how I got on that topic about my dad. Let's see what he's saying here.
The girl that doesn't respect them, they're with a girl that likes to go to the club.
I was saying my dad's not a simp. With women, my dad is kind of like, I want this my way and that's it. Even, he's a strong man in that way. I wonder even if it's true to say Myron admits being a simp. I would say possibly that my dad has been less of a simp in his life by a long shot than Myron, just because when I think of my dad, who he is.
And,
I'm a simp because I grew up in this era of the United States of America after the free love movement.
Guys DM them and get attention. And, once guys wake up and realize like this is unacceptable behavior on a worldwide scale, then women will start to act right. But, women aren't going to change until guys become better and let girls know that this is an acceptable behavior.
I look at it as like a religion, right? So, for example, let's say I'm Christian. I want you to be Christian. If I just tell you, oh, come to my church, read the Bible, you're like, bro, for what? However, if you come across a problem and have a solution, but live my lifestyle, you're like, damn, he lives good, he's happy, why am I not happy?
These guys wear the nice watches. I just can't see myself wearing a watch. It's like something restricting on my wrist.
Yo, Mike, how do you do what you do? Hey, man, if you want, come to church with me. Same thing with simping. You know what?
And I have an Apple Watch. I just have used it in the past for working out, but it's still too much work. And Apple's Apple Fitness, those videos they make really suck ass. If you want to be brainwashed and become woke while you work out, and if you want to become a simp through fitness, then do Apple Fitness.
I'm simping right now, but I'm losing money. I feel bad. I don't feel good. You know, Mike has a good lifestyle. He has girls around him all the time. You know what, Mike, how do I get help from you? So then they ask you, and that's when you give it to him. But you can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. So
I think for me personally, I learned my biggest lessons from just getting heartbroken and going through the experience of being a simp and then literally being treated like trash and then realizing, oh, okay, I understand what mistakes which I made. So
yes, extremely good point at the end there. That's probably my favorite part is you become a better man through heartbreak. I didn't realize that when I was younger, and that's why I tend to look back so often at my younger life and laugh at the things that bothered me most when I was younger, which like the top of the list was unrequited love. Move on. If it's obvious that it's unrequited, you know then at that moment, move on. And even if you're crazy about that person, move on. Unrequited love. Move on. Move on. Let it go. Say goodbye. There you go. I had a pretty fun hour there. Sometimes I wish I could just go and go and go, but I don't want to have all the extra memory on my computer. I have to get a bigger, better computer. I have to make breaks. I have to do all of that. If you like these videos, I appreciate you sharing them. Appreciate you telling your friends. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you commenting, interacting with me, engaging with me. Like the videos, share the videos, all of that, okay? I always have fun, almost always have fun doing this, and today is a particularly good one because I was well rested. I felt like I was on point mentally, okay? Thank you all. As I always say, peace be with you.